G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Cody and today I will be doing the 2022 NRL season review of the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The Bulldogs played a total of 24 games this year, scoring 16 points with 7 wins and 17 losses. The Bulldogs scored a total of 383 points throughout the season, while conceding a total of 575 points, with a points differential of negative 192. The Bulldogs' home record for this year was 5 wins and 7 losses, while their away record was 2 wins and 10 losses, and between rounds 21 and 25, they only managed to get 1 win between those 5 rounds. The Bulldogs started off in round 1 with a 2-point win over the North Queensland Cowboys at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, beating them 6 points to 4, before beating the other Queensland team, the Brisbane Broncos, 16-10 at Accor Stadium in round 2, before going on to lose against Manly in a 1 point at 4 Points Park in round 3, 13-12. The Bulldogs will go on to lose 5 in a row between rounds 3 and 7, with the first one against Manly. In round 4, they will get flogged by the Melbourne Storm at Amy Park, 44-0, before coming up with a loss against the Penrith Panthers, losing 32-12 at CommBank Stadium. And then in round 6, with the annual Good Friday rivalry clash between the Rabbitohs and Bulldogs in round 6, Rabbitohs will go on the win 36-16 at Accor Stadium, before losing to the Brisbane Broncos again, this time 34-14 at Suncorp Stadium. The Bulldogs' winning ways would start again as they would go on to shockingly beat the Roosters by 4 points in the great contest at Accor Stadium, winning 16-12 in round 8. The Bulldogs will go on to lose another 5 games in a row between rounds 9 and 14, with losing to the Raiders first up in round 9 at GIO Stadium, losing 14-4. Magic round against the Newcastle Knights, losing 16-6 at Suncorp Stadium. And then in round 11 against the West Tigers, losing to the Tigers 36-22 at Leichhardt Oval, before losing to the Dragons in a close contest at Belmore Sports Ground 34-24 in round 12, before losing to the Panthers again, this time 30 points to 18. My apologies, they would lose 5 in a row between rounds 9 and 13. In rounds 14 and 15, they would shock the competition as they would thrash their arch rivals Parramatta Eels at Accor Stadium in round 14 on the Queen's birthday public holiday, winning 34-4 against the Parramatta Eels, before going on to beat the West Tigers, flogging them at CommBank Stadium 36-12. In round 16, they'll go on to lose against the Sharks in a good contest, 18-6. Round 17 was their bye. In round 18, they will just lose to their other arch rivals, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, 36-28 at Accor Stadium. They'll go on to beat the dreadful Gold Coast Titans, 36-26 in round 19. Round 20, they will beat the Newcastle Knights, 24-10, before losing to the Cowboys, 28-14 at Sattler Oval up there in Bundaberg, before losing to the New Zealand Warriors in Auckland at Mount Smart Stadium 42-18 in round 22, and this time they'll get thrashed by the Parramatta Eels, beating them 42-6 at CommBank Stadium, and the Sharks would go on to beat the Bulldogs again, this time 16-0 at PointsBet Stadium in round 24, before the Bulldogs will go on to beat the Manly Sea Eagles, this time by 1 point, 21-20 at Accor Stadium to finish their season off. I reckon there were 3 games that were 3 of the Bulldogs' best throughout this year. One of them was in round 14 against the Parramatta Eels. They would flog them, upsetting them shockingly, 34-4 in round 14. And in round 15, they would flog the West Tigers, 36-12. I reckon they were two of their best wins, but I reckon their best win of the season was against the Sydney Roosters, where they would shockingly upset them, winning 16-12. I reckon that was their best win of the season. So I think Overall, they were 3 of their best wins for the season. Now going through the Bulldogs' worst losses. The first one will have to be against the Melbourne Storm in round 4, where they were smashed 44-0. Now it's a bit of a flogging there, but Melbourne Storm's known to do that. And then against the Warriors, where the first time back in New Zealand since 2019, I believe, the Bulldogs, where they would lose 42-18. And then the other big loss was against the Eels in round 23, where they were smashed this time 42-6. So I reckon those 3 games were their worst losses. The Bulldogs' top point scorer is, without a doubt, Matt Burton, who scored a total of 125 points throughout this year. And the top try scorer for this year was one of their key signings, Josh Adokar, who scored a total of 16 tries this year. Going through the signings of the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, of the players who have signed from the club elsewhere, or the players who have left the club to go elsewhere, or they have been released, or they have retired. There is a lot to go through, so bear in mind with me with this one. and this is as of the 4th of December. So the Bulldogs, as of the 4th of December, have signed 14 players, and from top to bottom, here they are. So the first one is Jonah Glover from the Brisbane Tigers, Andrew Davey from the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, Vladimir Kikau from the Penrith Panthers, Reid Marty from the Parramatta Eels, Isaac Matala Lava Booth from the Gold Coast Titans, Zach Montgomery from the Sydney Roosters, Franklin Pelly from the Cronulla Southern Sharks, Hazy Perham from the Parramatta Eels, Jacob Preston from the Sydney Roosters. Josh Reynolds has been named as a free agent at this stage. Jordan Sarami from the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Jack Stringer from the Sydney Roosters. Ryan Sutton from the Canberra Raiders. And Blake Wilson from the Sunshine Coast Falcons. I'm guessing these are some of the reserve grade / New South Wales Cup players as well. Just letting you guys know. The Bulldogs have released 17 players from their club who have been retired or gone to other clubs or just released. Josh Cook and Zach Dokar Clay, who have both been released. Matt Dooley to the Parramatta Eels. Matt Duffy, who left about mid-season to the Warrington Wolves. Harrison Edwards and Reece Hoffman both been released. Jack Hetherington to the Newcastle Knights. Josh Jackson recently announced his retirement, which is a shock. I believe he had another year or two with his contract, but hands up to that player. Such a great player. Alright, Tui Palutu Katoa from the Sydney Roosters. Isaac Lumley released. Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. Jeremy Marshall King to the Dolphins. Aaron Schrobb, which is a recent signing, has gone to the Gold Coast Titans. Ava Sermon Ufagi has been released. I pronounced that one wrong entirely. Joe Simpson to the Gold Coast Titans. Josh Stuckey to the Manly Sea Eagles. Cooper Tulu, who's been released. Paul Vaughan has gone to the Warrington Wolves. Warrington Wolves, sorry. And Brandon Wakeman, who has been released. Overall, what do I grade the Bulldogs 2022 season, NRL season? Well, despite them improving this year from being wooden spooners last year, they played well. But I reckon I would have to give them a 3.8 out of 10 for the season. I'll give the Bulldogs a 3.8 out of 10. Now, this is probably the best I can get because despite being very great this year, they only got 7 wins. If they got a couple more wins, I would have given them a higher grade. But the sacking of Trent Barrett, I think, was a great decision, and having Mick Potter come into the Bulldogs squad, changing them up for good. If Trent Barrett stayed there for at least the entire season, the Bulldogs season would have been completely disastrous, and they could have been back-to-back wooden spooners. But thankfully, Mick Potter came in from round 11 onwards after 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 the Bulldogs lost to the Knights 16-6, Trent Barrett was sacked after the game immediately with Mick Potter coming in. I think that was a great decision for them to do that. The new coach coming in for 2023, which has already been confirmed for months at this point, is Kevin Casado, or I think that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I got that name incorrect. He's going to completely change the Bulldogs again, and hopefully bring them as a top 8 team for next season. And with the shocking announcement of the legend Josh Jackson retiring at the club with a couple years on his contract still, it's a bit of a shock. So they're looking for a new captain as well. I believe it's either going to be Matt Burton or Josh Adokar, or they can share the captaincy and become co-captains. But I think Matt Burton will become their captain for 2023 and onwards. And I must say, Bulldogs impressed me this year as well. I know despite not having many wins. Will they definitely finish in the top 8 next year? For sure. I reckon, this is one of my predictions now. I will be doing an early predictions video in a couple of days or so. Just letting you guys know. So, I reckon the Bulldogs will finish in the top 8. I'm not going to say where in the top 8. Are they a top 4 side? That one, I don't think they'll be finishing as high as 4th. I could see them finishing finishing as high as like 6th or 7th probably, or even 5th. But that's just my opinion. I'll be surprised if they do get the top 4 next year, but everyone's talking about the Bulldogs finishing the top 8 next year. I'm one of them. I agree they will finish in the top 8. I hope they can learn from Mick Potter and Cameron Cruzado can teach them the same thing as well. As long as there's no lazy changes in the squad, like where their players were preferred to be. But anyways, I think the Bulldogs season overall was an improvement from 2021, sorry, from getting the wooden spoon. The amount of key players they signed this year, and then for next year as well, they're going to be an unstoppable side for years to come. They could be a premiership side in the next couple of years. Now, some of the Bulldogs' best players, Adokar, that's probably one of their best signings they have, scoring 16 tries in his debut season. If the Bulldogs finished in the top 8 this year, he would have been at least a top try scorer. But we had other better teams finish in the top 8. And also, what can I say? Their best player, hands down, Matt Burton. Oh my god, he's such an amazing player. With all those bombs he kicked this year, and in Origin as well. He played excellent in Origin. He pretty much almost got us the win in Game 3, but once Queensland scored, game over. Blame it on Cleary. No, all jokes aside, Matt Burton was no doubt their best player, and he's going to be definitely a top 5 goal kicker next year. Maybe even maybe coming first. Don't want to think that far. We're only 90 days away still until kick-off from the season, also 90 days, something like that. But overall, Bulldogs season 3.8, definitely an improvement next year. No way they're going to finish in the bottom 4. Top 8 for sure. Top 4. It's a bit of a tough decision at this stage. I don't think they will, but you never know. But anyways, everyone, this will conclude my video. This will come towards the end of it. Bulldog season was great overall. Bit of a couple shocking upsets against the Roosters and Eels. And yeah, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with next year. So and the next team I will be doing will be the North Queensland Cowboys, and that one will be a fun video. That one will be coming out hopefully in the next couple of days. But anyways, everyone, this will conclude the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. We are on our way to 600 subscribers. We're currently on 570 subscribers at the moment. And I've only got a couple more teams to go for the team list review, team season reviews, I mean. I might be doing like previews for each team, most likely. I'm not 100% sure. I know I'll do one for the Rabbitohs, but we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, everyone, I'll see each and every one. Sorry, I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. Take care.